Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shayla. I am currently working on a psychological horror that I hope to be my traditionally published debut. That novel is Project Marbles. If you're not new, you may notice that we are in a different location of my house, and I will share why when we get to life. This is the June monthly matcha. So, going back, if you're new here, the monthly matcha is basically just like my version of a coffee chat. This was inspired by Lindsay Puckett over on her Authortuber. Make sure you go check her out. I'm not a coffee girly. I was, don't get me wrong, and I still will drink coffee if somebody offers it to me. But I am a matcha girly through and through. So I thought monthly matcha, alliteration, love it. And yeah, we're just gonna sit and have a little chatty video. We do have a lot to catch up on. I have been missing from my channel for about 3 or 4 weeks, probably closer to 4 by the time this gets posted. So we will talk about that too. I've got my iced matcha, I have got my notes, and I'm ready to chat. The first area we are gonna cover is reading. Do I do reading first or do I do writing first? I can't remember if I do reading or writing first. We're gonna do reading first for the month of June. So let's dive in. Those that have joined me before will know when I do the reading section, I use my voice recorder on my phone because I have a Substack that I share a monthly book report, and that gets a little bit more into the nitty-gritty about the books I read each month, because I also give a book summary, which is just the little ghosty rating and who I think the books would be good for. So if you also like to read book wrap-ups, I would definitely go subscribe to my Substack. There is a free option, and that is going to get you the book report every month. And right now, the book summary is also for free subscribers. So yeah, that's shaylaappleby.substack.com. I will also link it in the description below here. So don't mind me while I am talking into my voice notes app. That being said, let's, for real this time, dive into reading. So, as no surprise to anyone, I completed 2 books in the month of June. That has been my pattern all year, and it continued into the 6th month. We'll see if I can manage one more in July, which I'm gonna say yes, because I think I'm gonna finally count my book. It's gonna be, I don't know, the 6th or 7th time that I've read it. Definitely at least the 3rd time I read it this year, and I have not counted it yet. So we're gonna make that be one of the books. So maybe I can manage to get through 3 in July, but that's neither here nor there. We are talking about June. And in June, the first book I read is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I have read quite a few Grady Hendrix books. I went to his book signing in Greenville earlier this year. I've got that video on my channel, and he is fabulous in person. He is very nice, very welcoming, and funny. And his books are horror novels that I thoroughly enjoy. I don't think I've read one of his books that I don't like. I will say, out of the books I've read, I have not read all of his. I have not read Horror Store, and I think maybe there's one more I haven't read either, but I have read How to Sell a Haunted House, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, Final Girl Support Group, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I have read a lot of his books. I liked this book, don't get me wrong. It was my least favorite of his, not of any book I've ever read, just of Grady Hendrix. It was not my favorite. He writes very campy, and this was very campy. I'm not like an exorcism, demon, horror girly. Not to say that that's bad, it's just not for me. So it had the same level of writing that you expect from Grady Hendrix. It had the same humor, lightheartedness, but also like a deeper meaning to it. Very feminist. It was good. It just low on the totem pole of Grady Hendrix books, which is not a bad thing. Because like I said, I love him. I love his books. I love his writing. Yeah. I had never planned on reading this book because I don't like exorcisms and demons, but I was convinced by a bookseller at the store that I picked this up at, and he was correct in telling me that it was not on the level of exorcisms and demons that was going to like frighten me where I could not sleep. He was correct about that. That's what we were mostly talking about, is that I don't really like to have stuff like this in my house. I just think it's bad juju. And he was like, you know, it's not like that. And he was correct. He was right about that. But if you love Grady Hendrix as much as I do, and you are a sucker for a good demon story or exorcism, then I would definitely say please pick this up. Also, if you love nostalgia from the 80s, this is also a good pick for you. That was a little bit before my time. If it was in the 90s, then we would be talking, okay? But yeah, I think gave this like a 3.8, maybe 3.9. I can't remember on my Substack. So not bad. It was good. The second book I read in the month of June was another Riley Sager. It is Lock Every Door. This was actually my book club's pick. I am in a book club that I host and created, Sips and Scary Stories Book Club, where we read thrillers and horrors and meet every other month. So we meet in the even months. So June was Riley Sager. This is the second book that our book club has read of his, and I want to say it's the fourth book of his that I've read. Yes, I have read 4 of his books. So I, again, love Riley Sager. Okay, there's another theme going on here. I love Riley Sager. I liked this book. It's not my favorite of his. It is my least favorite of his. But again, that's not a bad thing. This one is set at an exclusive, I don't know, it gives me hotel vibes, but it's not. It is like an apartment building in New York, and the main character has always dreamed about living there, and so she gets an opportunity to move in and make some money by being an apartment sitter. And of course, while she is there, horror hijinks ensue. Also, newbie watchers, that is one of my favorite things to say. I don't know why. It is. So yeah, I mean, creepy stuff happens. She meets someone, tries to figure out what's going on. She meets another house sitter, Ingrid, and Ingrid goes missing, I think after like the first time they hang out, and she is really wanting to know what happened and find out what happened, and she has like this obsession with figuring it out, and we find out it's because her sister actually went missing when she was younger, and she has this guilt because her and her parents didn't realize her sister was missing until the next day, and so she does not want to go through that again with another missing girl. So it is a good book. I think I gave it the exact same rating on my Substack on my book summary. So yeah, not bad. Liked it. I would keep reading Riley Sager. Definitely recommend him as an author. So yeah. So those are the 2 books that I read in June. And now we're gonna dive into writing. There is not too much to share with writing yet again. June was the month that I was waiting on feedback for my 5 new beta readers, 3 of which were general readers, 2 of which were writers, 1 of which who wanted to fill out the same form as the readers, and 1 of which who wanted to go through and really read it as she would have had she had the time to do it during my first round of beta reading. So I waited for the feedback. During that time, I polished up my query letter. I started working on building my querying spreadsheet for agents that I'm hoping to start querying in August. We'll see once I get the beta feedback how long it takes me to get through draft 5, which I'm hoping is the final draft that we go through for Project Marbles. So I'm excited about that. I did in the middle of June get feedback from one of my writer friends. She is the one who got it back. So I will share the gist of what she said in her notes since I don't have much else to share about writing. So let's get that pulled up. The first couple of sentences. Wow, I'm so impressed by this book and your writing. You do suspense and tension masterfully. You know, I've never read a horror book before, and I definitely never watch horror movie shows, but I thought, how scared can a book really make someone feel? If it's ink rather than film, but you showed me exactly how much. The sharp details are great too, like the I almost slipped up and said some spoilers in there, so we're gonna leave that part out. Let me see. I always felt immersed in the scene and felt Willa's fear and the creepy things viscerally. I love how much curiosity was embedded in the suspense throughout. That was it. And then of course there's a lot of like specific details. And then she says overall killer job. So I was beyond ecstatic to get that feedback, and she had sent a message to our group chat, which I will share. The first message she sent, I am not gonna say because it's like, you will get it once you read the book. But she was like, just emailed you my feedback, and then she said, TLDR, it's amazing, it doesn't need an overhaul by any means, but I have a few minor suggestions. So yeah, that was the text I got in our author group chat, and I was excited. I will put up a little screenshot here so you can see screenshots of the gifts that I sent back to the chat. So yeah, that is where we're at with Project Marbles. I am hoping for the month of July, get the rest of my beta feedback and get through. I want to go through and do like big edits that I see in their notes, and then I want to do a read through and do one last like line edit, like line level edits of the manuscript. And then I'm going to be really freaking out because I will need to dive into the query trenches, and I haven't done that in probably 4 years. Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm excited. I would be lying if I said I wasn't freaking out a little bit. This book means a lot to me. I feel like it's the first time that I've written something that is close to my heart but isn't so like sewn onto it that it hurts to edit it and edit it well and get it to a place where it needs to be. I have been that writer before that has written something, and I am not afraid to get bad feedback, but I was so stubborn that I was like, well, no, like anything anyone said, I was like, no, that's wrong. What I did was right. Thank you for your feedback, but I'm gonna keep it as it is. This book, I feel, is the first time that I'm like, thank you so much for pointing that out to me. I have had my eyeballs on this for so long and so much time spent with these characters that sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees, or the trees through the forest. I can't remember which way it is, but you know what I mean. So yeah, this is the first time that I'm willing to kill my darlings. I am. So I'm hoping it is at a level that will catch an agent's eye, and I'm just excited. I'm excited. So yeah. And now we're gonna move on to life. So for this section, I first want to address why it has been so long since I've uploaded anything on my channel, and life was just lifing since I last uploaded. I had a bit of a health scare, and to be honest, my brain could not focus on anything else but some news that I had received from a routine checkup. So everything's fine. I got the results of the biopsy that I had, and we're all good. I just have to make some lifestyle changes, and that's fine. I don't particularly like change, but I will soldier through it when need be. I did the same thing a couple years ago when I got diagnosed with PCOS. And yeah, so I was focused on that, and I did not have the time or the focus really to upload videos. I had a content calendar created that I had created before I had gotten the initial news, and so I tried to make the following video, and I couldn't focus on it at all. So yeah, that was the initial thing. And then there was a couple things that happened with people who are close to me, that are family and friends and people that I love, and that was just other situations that I also so they were just other situations that I also had to put my attention on and put my love towards. So it happened to be a good time when it came to writing for these things to happen, because I was already on a pause from the book, and yeah, I needed to focus on those things right now. So beyond that, there were some good things that happened in June, and we will cover that now. I'm gonna do like I did for May's monthly matcha, and I'm gonna refer to my photo dump from Instagram. So if you see me looking down, I am looking at my phone to refer to pictures that I put in my photo dump. So let's dive in. The very beginning of the month, I met with my writing group. I think it was literally June 1st, like the first day of the month. We went to our usual place to meet, the usual coffee shop, and I got a just oat milk matcha with a blue lavender cold foam. And I think that day I had just turned in my drafts to the beta readers, so I started working on editing my query letter. So that's what I was working on there. And one of my writing partners was working on drafting her romance, and the other writing partner was working on revisions of her domestic thriller, which is the one that I beta read for her. I also went to an Atlanta Braves game with my brother, my sister, and my dad the day before Father's Day. It worked out to where all of us could go. It was like a last minute thing. So literally I rushed from work to go home, change, and get out the door to drive over to my brother's apartment where we met, and then Ubered over to the stadium. Baseball has always been a fun thing for me and my family to do. Me and my dad have gone and watched plenty of games together. My sister and my dad have gone. Me, my sister, my dad, when we were younger, my dad used to take us to Braves games when they were at Turner Field, and my brother played baseball when he was younger. He did the travel team. So yeah, we love baseball, and we had a great time. The next day was Father's Day, and I did not get any pictures, and I think it's because we took so many the day before at the Braves game. We went to a winery near my dad's house for Father's Day, and it was very hot, but we had a great time. It was my sister, my brother, my dad, my stepmom, and my niece, one of my nieces from my stepsister. So yeah, we had a good time. It was fun. I also, like I said, had book club. We read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I made strawberries and cream espresso martinis. I wanted to make pink espresso martinis. I typically try to make a cocktail that is on theme with the book or was in the book, but there wasn't much drinking in that novel. It just had, I think they drank wine a good bit. There was like a saying with coffee between the main character and her best friend that they don't ever, I think it's like text or call before they've had their coffee. So I've been dying for an espresso martini, and one of my friends was like, well, why don't you make something that matches the book? And the book is pink, and I had remembered that I saved a recipe for a pink espresso martini. So it was from Valentine's, like from February, but I still had the recipe. And that one called for red velvet Baileys. Could not find the red velvet Baileys anywhere, but did find the strawberries and cream, and I found a couple recipes that had the strawberries and cream, and I've had a strawberry latte before, so I figured it couldn't be too bad. Yeah, everyone loved it that drank it at book club and had more than one. It was not for me, but I'm not a creamy espresso martini girl. I like to have just the vodka, Kahlua, and espresso. I don't like the Baileys or the rum chata in mine, but I did have one for the sake of book club, and it wasn't bad. That was book club. It was a small group this time. There was only 5 of us. We had some good snacks and some good conversation, and yeah, it was a good time. I also went to one of my friends' house for dinner. Me and 2 of my old co-workers from the job I have prior to the one I have now. We get together. We try to eat together once a month, but it usually ends up being probably about 8 or 9 times a year, which is not bad. We all have lives, and it's fine. We got together. We had dinner. I brought the leftover stuff from book club to make the strawberries and cream martinis over there. I just had a cold brew martini, and we literally just ate and sat on the couch and caught up. And as always, we had fun, and you know, we love a little girl chat, a little gossip. It's fun. Okay. I also had one of my best friends who I also don't get to see that often come over for lunch and hang out one day this month. She is a teacher, so she's off for the summer. So the summertime and around the holidays is usually when we get to hang out a good bit. So she came over, and we went and got Mexican food, which is like our favorite thing to do together. I met her in college and we lived together in Athens for quite some time. And so, you know, it was either one of us every week convincing the other one to go get Mexican food. So when we see each other, we definitely make that happen probably almost every time we see each other. If we don't go get Mexican, it's because like a new restaurant's in town that we want to try. Yeah, otherwise it's Mexican food. So yeah, we went and got tacos. A new taco place opened up near my house. And she also came over for the very last thing that I want to share for life. And another reason why I have been quite busy and not able to upload as much as I want or would like to. Not super like interacted and commented on other people's videos as much as I like to do. And that is because I got Jack, who is asleep up here, I got him a kitten, and I'm sure she will be on this channel like in the fur flesh eventually, but she's such a playful kitten at this time in her life that I would not be able to sit here and record this video if I did not put her upstairs to like take a nap. So she's in her room with lots of toys, a bowl of water, and 2 beds, and her litter box, of course, while I am filming this video. So as I'm talking, I'm gonna put up lots of pictures of my sweet little new writing partner. Her name is Mojo. And yeah, she is, she's insane. She really is, but I love it. She's the complete opposite of her brother, where her brother is quiet and he's like an old man in a 1-year-old's body. Yes, Jack is not even 2. He is, I think, like in the teenage years of cathood, and so he likes to sleep. He's very chill. And she is not. She is off the walls. She's flying off the handle, like bouncing off the walls constantly. She can't sit still. If she sits still, it is for about a minute max, and then she is finding something to play with, something to get into, something to bite. We're learning. I got Jack at the same exact age that I got her, which is 8 weeks. And I adopted both of them from the shelter, and both of them he was neutered, she was spayed before they came home. And so yeah, life stage is exactly the same. 2 completely different cats and experiences. So I happened to see this video on TikTok that cracked me up, because I was like, this is Jack and Mojo if they were humans, because these parents had posted of like a few videos of their first kid and was like, our first kid is such an angel, she's so sweet, she's so good, we definitely need to have a second. And then the music changes and the second has like paint all over her face. She's flicking the camera off. She is like, you know, making funny faces. Yeah, complete opposites. But it's fun. It took some time to get them to be in the same room together and be fine. We are up to about 3 hours. They can be together about 3 hours before Jack literally like pins her down and she's screaming like a mad woman. And at that point, I separate them and I tell her, let's go upstairs and take a break. So then I will go upstairs with her, play with her for a little while, and then put her in her room for some rest. And then Jack does this. He gets his rest. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a month. There's been lots of highs and a couple of lows. My emotions have been all over the place. But yeah, we're halfway through the year, and I am hoping that the second half of the year brings things that are lighter and better and brighter. Not that everything has been absolutely terrible the first half of the year, but I know that things can be better. So I'm gonna hope that for myself, but also for all of you watching and everyone who is not watching. I hope the second half of 2025 brings you everything that you are hoping for and shines the brightest light on you and your loved ones. So cheers to that. So we're gonna cheers our matcha, our coffee, our wine, and cocktails, whatever it is you are sipping on while you're watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. I, like last month, have a plan for a video next week. Hopefully things are settling down and we can get back on a bit of a schedule here. I do not have a set day that I post videos, but I do try to get something out once a week. So I'm hoping to get back to that. Again, thank you, and I will catch you next week. Bye.